Imagine if one person was left alone in the entire world with just a kangaroo. That's what today's story looked like. At the start of the story, a man named Yu was traveling to the moon in a rocket. But at the same time, a massive asteroid named Pi started heading toward Earth. This asteroid was even bigger than the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Humans came up with a plan. The space station where Yu was working had many advanced weapons designed to destroy the asteroid. After 8 years of hard work, humans finally succeeded in their mission. With the job done, Yu and his team were ready to return to Earth. Before leaving, Yu wanted to confess his love to Commander Zink. To prepare for this, he went to his room, put on headphones, played some music, and started writing a letter. At that moment, Commander Zink heard alarming news. There was a problem with their weapons, and in the next 30 minutes, all the debris from the Pi asteroid would crash onto the moon. Hearing this, Commander Zink immediately ordered everyone to leave the space station. Everyone started running toward their rockets, but Yu, still busy writing his love letter, and didn't hear the warning alarms. A few minutes later, he noticed the first rocket and ran toward the station at full speed. There were 6 rockets left, which gave him some relief. But suddenly, 5 rockets launched at the same time. Yu tried desperately to contact his team. With no other option, he rushed toward the last rocket in his rover. However, a large crater appeared in his path, and his rover fell straight into it. Yu managed to climb out. The last rocket had already taken off. Meanwhile, asteroid began crashing down in the area. To survive, Yu decided to hide in another crater, but then a piece of debris fell, knocking Yu unconscious for a while. When he woke up, he believed it wouldn't be too hard for Earth to locate him. But then, a massive asteroid crashed straight into Earth, destroying the entire planet. For the next 6 months, Yu kept trying to contact Earth, but without success, he accepted his fate. He decided to fulfill all his wishes. First on his list was spending some time in Commander Zink's room. However, he didn't know the password to her room. His second wish was to surf on the moon's surface. At first, he kept falling and failing miserably, but after several days of practice, he finally succeeded in surfing. But he couldn't figure out the password to Zink's room. Frustrated, he decided to blow the door open. He made a plan to go on a date with Zink's picture. During this date, he accidentally spilled ketchup on Zink's face in the photo. He kissed the picture, unaware that the entire space station team was watching him live from their new headquarters. Seeing his actions, Commander Zink was completely shocked. Due to poor network connectivity, they could only watch you but couldn't communicate with him. Since you didn't appear to be in any immediate danger, Zink decided to cancel the rescue mission. At that moment, Chairman Ng informed the team that the government had decided to broadcast Yu's new life to the entire world. After the asteroid struck Earth, 30% of the land was submerged underwater, drastically changing life for everyone. The government wanted to use Yu's survival as a symbol of hope, showing people that even though this man was alone, he was still living his life. Zink explained that they planned to dub Yu's voice to create a narrative for the public, allowing them to make him say whatever they wanted. Zink then used the radio to present a false story to the world, claiming that Yu had given up his seat on the rocket to save his crew members. Meanwhile, 196 days had passed. One day, Yu went to the warehouse to get some medicine. At the same time, a voiceover artist named Flutist was brought in to dub Yu's voice for the broadcast. However, Flutist wasn't given any script. While in the warehouse, Yu noticed something new. At first, he thought it was a girl and started talking to it. But as he got closer, he realized it was a big, muscular kangaroo. At that exact moment, the live stream began, and the camera focused right on the kangaroo's face. Flutist started dubbing to match the kangaroo's mouth movements. Zink tried to stop Flutist, but it was too late. Many people had already seen the broadcast. Due to this mistake, Zink and Zhu were summoned by the chairman. During the meeting, they revealed that their research team had accidentally left a kangaroo named Kong at the base station. They also discovered that Flutist wasn't a professional voiceover artist, but a social media influencer known for dubbing random content. To fix the situation, Zink decided to narrate Yu's story as it unfolded. Meanwhile, on the spaceship, Yu tried to befriend Kong by dressing up as a female kangaroo. However, when Kong discovered the truth, he started beating Yu. Watching this, Flutist burst into laughter. The news arrived that a fighting match between Kong and Yu was about to take place on the spaceship. During the match, Kong showcased his strength by knocking Yu out with a powerful hit to the stomach. Seeing this, Zink tried to communicate with him. When Yu regained consciousness, he noticed lines on the communication channel, realizing that people on Earth were still alive. After making peace with Kong, Yu and the kangaroo got into their rover and planned to use a broken rocket that could take them back to Earth. Meanwhile, then began began working tirelessly on repairing the spacecraft, surprising everyone with his progress. When Zink checked his file, she discovered that he was actually a flight dynamics engineer, currently working in the maintenance department. On his 282nd day, you revealed that their damaged engine had a weight limit, so Kong would have to stay behind. Despite this, Kong insisted on bringing you back to the base. However, you then recalled a weapon that could be used as a prototype engine, though it was very risky. Kong agreed to help you with the dangerous plan. Astronaut Zhu informed the team that the plan could work, but it would be difficult to bring you back to the base before sunset. Despite the challenges, you started driving in the opposite direction as the sun began to set. He couldn't move away from the sunlight because the cold on the moon is so extreme that it would kill him. Zink soon realized Yu's plan. He was chasing the sun to give himself 41 extra days of time. But on the 28th day, both Kong and Yue were exhausted, so they tied themselves together with a rope. After many days of constant driving, they finally reached the engine. Once there, Kong started pressing a button repeatedly. Fortunately, it wasn't a random button, but the engine check button. However, you locked him inside the engine for this. Afterward, they both set off toward their base. But during the journey, Kang's rope detached from the engine. You realized that if he went back to get Kong, he might lose the sunlight. He briefly decided to leave Kong behind and continue alone. But just minutes later, you turned around and raced back toward Kong. After a while, he reached him, but the calculations suggested they wouldn't make it back in time. So, Zink ordered everyone to quickly find the lunar dog, as its battery could help them return to the base. Both you and Kong were exhausted after driving without sleep for so long. Now, with only 5 hours of battery left due to the setting sun, the lunar dog suddenly activated but was in power-saving mode, so it couldn't find them. Astronaut Zhu took control of the lunar dog, hoping to guide it to you. But the lunar dog's battery died halfway, and it fell into a large crater. You and Kong, staring at the stars, were talking when you lost himself in memories of Zink. After a while, when you and Kong were playing, you realized signals on the screen just like before, but when he saw Kong accidentally touched some wires, he began to suspect that perhaps no one was alive on Earth, and maybe Kong had inadvertently sent the signals earlier by touching the wires. You become very upset by this news. On Earth, Zink started working to repair the communication lines began. A few days later, you made a toy female kangaroo for Kong and decided to leave everything behind by stepping outside the ship. Feeling hopeless, Yu's true emotions were revealed to the entire world by Zink, who asked everyone for help by directing their phone flashlights toward the moon. As you prepared to remove his helmet far from the ship, he noticed a light coming from Earth. Seeing this, he dropped to his knees, overwhelmed with emotion. After some time, you returned to the base, turned on the communication button, and finally heard his teammates. They told him about the live stream of Earth's events, but despite everything, you remained silent. Everyone then brought Zink to stand in front of him, and the moment she said, "Hello," Yu's mood brightened. Over the next few days, the engineers helped you repair his spacecraft, but he only seemed truly happy when he saw Zink. Once the spacecraft was fixed, you had a chance to talk to Zink alone. During their conversation, you confessed he had joined the maintenance department solely because of her. He vowed to stay close to Zink even if it meant doing small tasks in the maintenance department. In turn, Zink confessed that on the day of the rocket launch, she had seen you running toward her but couldn't wait for him. Their heartfelt exchange distracted them, and they failed to notice the approaching asteroid. The next day, you and Kong were ready to return home, and with the help of their team, they managed to repair the spacecraft. It was successfully launched, and everyone rejoiced as you and Kong safely returned to the space station after spending 923 days on the moon. However, an urgent meeting was called to discuss a massive asteroid heading toward Earth. The chairman believed that only you could stop it because his spacecraft's engine was powerful enough to be used as a weapon. Zink rushed to the control room and turned off the live stream, leaving everyone confused. Before she could speak to you, he had already overheard everything through his headphones and realized the seriousness of the situation. Knowing there were no missiles to stop the asteroid, you stepped up to face it. He understood the low chance of survival, but agreed to the mission, knowing the fate of Earth rested on his shoulders. He told Zink that if he died, she should find someone else. Then orders were given for everyone on Earth to move to underground bunkers, and you secured Kong to his seat to ensure his safety. But Kong wanted to stay with you, but they parted ways. As you navigated the spacecraft, he collided with several rocks, and one caused the spacecraft to spin uncontrollably. At this critical moment, Zink informed you that the asteroid was about to pass dangerously close. She didn't want to sacrifice him, but you reassured her to focus on saving Earth. You turned the spacecraft toward the asteroid and instructed Zink to start the live stream. He thanked everyone for their support and shared that he had always believed being in the middle was safest, until now, when he found himself between Earth and the asteroid. As he sang Jing's favorite song, you guided the spacecraft toward the asteroid, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice to save Earth. At full speed, Yu's spacecraft craft headed straight for the asteroid, causing Zinc and everyone else to cry. As you reached the asteroid, Zinc unsuccessfully tried to press the missile button. All she could think about were the moments spent with you. But you reminded her of her responsibility and urged her to press the button. A few seconds later, a massive explosion occurred and the asteroid broke into small pieces. These pieces looked like stars as they collided with Earth, visible to millions of people, including Kong. In the crowd, a boy told his little sister that they were able to return home today thanks to the Moon Man. Over the next 10 years, Earth's condition improved. Then, the new chairperson of the space program, Lacey, announced that humans would once again travel to the moon. Meanwhile, Zinc was ready to go back to the moon. She saw the moments she had shared with you, and tears of happiness filled her eyes. Looking at Earth with a fellow astronaut, she said that the debris from the shattered asteroid 10 years ago now formed a ring around Earth, a constant reminder of the Moon Man.